welcome to the Center Study of Truth. Here's Stephen Magyar. Today we'll speak about what is sacrifice and from where it came from and what is that really means. Because have a lot of misunderstanding after the age of the religious dogmas that people subscribe to, and we'll speak about this. What does that mean from the pagan perspective, and what does that mean from the religious perspective and modern perspective, how people see that today? Because again, I have a lot of misunderstandings. People think sacrifice is something like sacrifice of animals or human beings, and something evil or whatever they think this is really means. And of course, everything is incorrect and not what it really means from its essence, because it's not about sacrifice, blood sacrifice. It's something you give something and to take something back, because nature is working in exchange energy. You give something and you receive after you give something, and if you receive something you give something after. It's kind of energy exchange. Is in terms of the rune Gebo in the Norse tradition. That means energy exchange. You need to sacrifice something to achieve something else, or your desires. Of course, it can be basic, limited and narcissistic desires, egoistic desires that you want for yourself. Whatever it is kind of put you in black magic and sorcery works that you feel to, because is not about only for yourself and your selfish desires. Is about self-growth. Is about helping community to grow. Is about education. Is about you see someone and you can help him, you give something, and you not even wait for something back to you in the same moment, because not work like that. You just give, and you not expect from something back, but you will take it. You will receive it anyways. Then the universe will give you that, because you give something else to others. And this real sacrifice and magic work, the real magic work like that. You put your intention on something and you sacrifice something that important to you, like in the ancient times, they sacrificed the swords that was very precious for them in that time, and they protect themselves as a self-defense tool, and they just throw it in the sea, and they broken it and throw it in the sea, and kind of stuff like that. That you kind of symbolically sacrifice something, and you put your intention on that, and you can influence the change occur in the physical world according to your will. And the science and arts, that we'll speak about this maybe in the next videos, more about the magic works and how it's changed with the time, from the pagan prehistory time and after the religious and Western systems like OTO, Thelema and Kabbalah, and all these systems of magic, of course, have some value in that systems. And even me, I'm very interested in that, and I speak about the systems of Western and more a new system of magic. Is very also powerful and ceremonial, but I believe the real pure form of magic is from the pagan prehistory times, that was more artistic and more theatric, and of course is more powerful. But anyways, we'll stay about the subject of sacrifice that time, this video, because maybe I will speak about these subjects in the next videos. But anyways, many ancient cultures that share the same inherent idea of an allegorical figures sorry, that represent some archetypal force of nature that repeated for eons, that are seen as we see as Jesus and Buddha and Osiris, Odin, and other similar figures, as well as that seen through the occult traditions and ancient mystical myths. They all presented in someone who sacrifice and die and are born. Of course, as I say, as I know, that the Nordic tradition, the Norse tradition, and according to the Bok saga, if someone knows that, very interesting subject to speak about, maybe I'll speak about in the future videos. According to the in a Danish mythology and Norse mythology, how they interconnected together, and how humanity developed with the time other systems of mythologies, like Greek mythologies and Mayan mythologies and Egyptian mythologies and Sumerian and Chinese and many others, that splitted after the Ice Age into two kingdoms that developed that mythologies, that basically based on same archetypal energies of nature and from the born of humanity. But anyways, all that this is not for that video. I not go so deeper in that subjects. But what esoteric meaning in that they were all sacrificed and reborn. Okay, these main figures. As we see Odin example. The story of Osiris and Odin are very similar in their symbolic essence. That the story of Odin is very inspiring, as someone who sacrificed himself into himself, because this is the difference between Christian sacrifice idea and pagan sacrifice idea, because Christians, they changed the idea of sacrifice. They put someone else to sacrifice for everyone else, and people believe that Jesus take all their sins into him, and he sacrificed for everyone to better future, and they need to pray for him, and this is their savior. But it's completely distorted with the time. Again, maybe was Jesus figure in the real story of Jesus, but it's not the same story. Maybe I will get to that also later, because the real sacrifice we see as Odin he sacrificed for the wisdom, to gain wisdom, and he sacrificed on the tree of Yggdrasil in 9 days and 9 nights, and he discovered the wisdom of the runes, and he sacrificed his awareness for the servitude of truth and wisdom of nature, as we see in the card of the Hanged Man, also inspired by Odin, and all the tarot, basically the Fool is represented by Odin, who seek the wisdom through the soul, the Sowilo. And also the Egyptian version of death of Osiris by his brother Seth, and the birth of his savior son Horus, which esoterically represent the allegorical figure of the divine son, that is represent the resurrected action itself. And I see it also beautiful allegory as well, that developed by humanity in the later age, and is kind of interesting and inspired stories that we see Seth and this sunset and Horus horizon, and all this word games we see, and how is we can discover the story by the words, by the sounds. And also in the Norse version of the myth, that is the god Balder, who is considered the god of this day, the sun and the light, the soul, basically, because the pagan sees the sun as the soul, is the same source of the world, and the moon is the mind that create everything. And because with the time also inverted the ideas of Ra, that Ra is the moon. The moon is the masculine energy in the pre-Christian, prehistoric times, that we see in the pagan mythologies, that the Ra is the moon, the air, if we see the opposite letters, and also the sun is the soul, that is our soul. This is the life force that give birth for everything. And we see these combinations everywhere, but they change the Ra into the sun. But anyways, I see it also someone who understand this mythology and understand the whole picture can be also seen the opposite way, also kind of educatable, and people can also find values in this version, the Egyptian version. But I think it's important to understand the source, the origin, the most important thing, because when you understand your origin, you will find out what the whole picture is, and it will be more easy for you to find the dots, connect the dots, because we have a lot of missing links in the human history. Millions of years we have a missing history that they hide many years. And we see that what I want to say about Balder, that this is kind of also similar story to Jesus, that is represent the soul, and is killed by his brother Hod, that through ignorance and darkness, that by Loki, who treat him to kill Balder inside, exactly in the point of the heart. These archetypal forces, also according to the myth, as example Odin, that some call it wooden, that is wood, made from wood, or can be Uden, that is the original, according to the Danish myth, Danish folklore. I don't go into these names and sounds now in this video, but it's kind of remind us the archetypal forces of nature, of the creator of the universe. And also we have also Odin represents the source and the wisdom of the soul of the sun, the soul. And according to the Danish folklore, is Udenma, is the son of the earth, willow. We have Thor, the god Thor, that is thunder, Thunar, or Thor, according to the Bok saga, that is represent the electromagnetic force, that protector of mankind. And also, according to the Bok saga, it calls the heart friend. Also, I not go deeper in this mythologies now, but basically is represent the electromagnetic force that he beating with his hammer, Mjolnir, and is also represent boundaries. Okay, it's got kind of boundaries, because electromagnetic is boundaries. We have boundaries in any matter. If we see deep inside the matter, we have boundaries everywhere. And if we don't have these boundaries, we cannot create anything, nothing. Nothing cannot be created without this electromagnetic force, the life force energy. That is also represent the thunder, the Thor, Thunar. We have Frey and Freya, that according to the Danish myth, this is the first man and woman on the earth, and kind of Adam and Eve, the first original one. But according to the Norse mythology, Freya is the goddess of fertility, is the goddess of love and fertility and earth, the feminine energy. We have Njord, we have Tyr or Thew, that is also the Sky Father, is also very powerful god in this pantheon, is also represent the sky. And also the Thew is Jupiter. This is the original Jupiter. This is the original first letter. According to this name of Thew. And this is inverted, of course, in this in the new religions, that is became a sky daddy, that care about everything, and we need to believe in one God, that is we need to pray for him, that we will give us and supplies everything, we don't need to do nothing. And the original forces of nature, the archetypes of nature, and this amazingly allegorical presented in this myth. And Hela, hell, and of course the Bible and the religions invert everything. That the hell is the opposite, and see in the dictionary how much things have hell, help, hello, many words that finish or start with hell. And Hela is the goddess of the underworld, of the unconscious mind, and she show you your real face of who you are. And Loki is the daughter of Loki, and Loki is the tricker, because the universe sometimes is a tricker, because it trick you and temptate you until you will understand. It will trick you till the end of the times, if need, till you will understand what is natural law and how to live according to nature and these laws and archetypes. And Thor's Mjolnir will beat you till you will understand how to live according to nature and morality, and to respect other boundaries, and to know your boundaries, your limitations, your rights, what others' rights, and that you cannot hurt them. And Loki, the tricker, that is also in the underworld, in the unconscious mind, that this is his place he want to be, because the unconscious mind all the time trick you to do wrong things and you don't know. And people not deal with their traumas and fears and deeply in the unconscious mind, that not challenged and healed. Version, we have the Horus, who is the son of Osiris, who was murdered by his brother Seth, the god of death and darkness. We can see through all the cultures and myths that there is something is common between all the gods, that symbolize different archetypes of pure divine consciousness. In this case of self-sacrifice and rebirth can be seen in many mystical myths and traditions. As inspiration from all these amazing myths and allegories, we can learn a lot from the archetypes shown in these characters who resurrected to their true spiritual essence and their true purpose. Sacrifice of all the illusions and fallen beliefs that existed before. The sacrifice of all the narcissistic egos and habits that not serve us for the higher purpose. And all this we can learn from these mythologies, in different kind of mythologies that humanity has developed with after the first Ragnarok and after the first Ice Age, that the humanity is split into 10 kingdoms, and they disconnected from their origins and from their ancestors and the wisdom of the gods. And they start to develop this different kinds of mythologies that we can see in many traditions. That is very interesting, and I speak about all this and basically on this archetypes and this nature that be a real pagan is a part of whole of nature, that rocks and animals and the plants and elements of all my relatives, okay? Other humans are sisters and brothers, no have separations, no have divide and conquer, I'm black, I'm white, I'm Chinese, I'm this, I'm that. It doesn't matter, we're same humans and brothers and sisters. Whatever these races, colors, ages, nationalities or creeds or sexual preferences or whatever, they see the earth as the mother earth, that this is the force who giving and supplying to others, and the sky is the father, and the sun and the moon is the grandfathers and grandmothers, and the stars is our ancestors. The stars ancestors came from the same words, as the moon is the mind, as the soul is the sun is the soul, and you're part of all this large family of nature, not the master of it. You don't need to master of it, you don't need to control others, you need to understand you are part of it, but you're not master of it. You need to learn from the wisdom of nature, but not to control it, not to try to control other human beings, other brothers and sisters you have, because we arrive from the same source, from the same pure divine source, and we have birthrights as a mankind, and we have our own special way and part to play in this game, and seek to play that part to the best of our abilities, for servitude of truth and wisdom and growth, and to seek to live with harmony with others, human beings and family of nature and animals, treating others with respect and not to abuse others and to control others and to oppose the will of others. This is not the way. It's not the real paganism. People inverted everything today. Inverted everything. They think paganism is something like evil satanic rituals, blood sacrifice or whatever they think. They don't understand what really means and why they invert it all the time. All the symbology and all the essence of truth. They say lie and truth is a lie, and everything is the opposite. And after the Christianity and the Judaism and Islam that destroyed the paganism, the churches destroyed the paganism, because they want humanity disconnect from that knowledge and wisdom and their origin, the orlog of them. About the sacrifices, about the sacrifice our comfort, our time, our attention, and this requires the physical actions to achieve our true desires, our true willpower, what we want to achieve in the end. Because we have a lot of power, we have a lot of magical power in humanity. And we need to know how to wield that power, because it can wield that back. We can hit from that. We can hurt ourselves from this. Because black magic and narcissistic desires working against you in the end. And if you want to real progress and you want to do real sacrifice, so you need to put all your energy in that, and your actions and your comfort. I'm not saying you need to sacrifice all your comfort and all your resources and all this. No, you need to think also logical what for yourself, and to know to will that, and to know to give to others. And you know that you will receive in after, but not expect from that for selfish desires only, for yourself. So all this real story teach us how to be, what does that mean, sacrifice? Because sacrifice is something sacred. It's derived from the same source of word. And also we see how they sacrificed the animals before. We see it as a sacrifice of animals, because was sacrifice of animals. They do it for, they give something instead to receive something back. Like this nature works, give and take, give and receive back. And all the nature work like this. And all the system of nature work like this, and we part of the system. And we need to learn how to live in the system and to grow, not to control that. And that's it. Thank you to listen to me, and we'll see you in the next videos. We'll speak about more interesting topics and stuff. Thank you to listen to me. My website is stevenmager.com. You can visit my website and my platforms of YouTube, odysee, Facebook, Twitter, all these social platforms. Thank you. See you soon. Bye bye.